Hey everybody, welcome back. It's patch 8.1, and to start off this season, I'm going to show you a build for Jax, Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest scales infinitely into the late game, so with Jax being such a good late game champion, great for split pushing and team fighting, Dark Harvest is a perfect combination for Jax. Jax has some good burst damage when you combine all of his spells. All of this burst damage adds to the already great burst damage of Dark Harvest to make it very easy to get picks on squishy champions. And the goal of Dark Harvest, if you've seen the Udyr video, you know this, is to be aggressive and snowball hard. It's not to farm the entire game because that's going to just put you behind. Dark Harvest is the best keystone rune in the game for snowballing after an early lead. You get stacks from monsters, 2 stacks, cannon minions, 4 stacks, and champion souls, 6 stacks. After picking up a soul, your buffed auto attack lasts for 20 seconds, until you get 150 souls, and then it lasts for 5 minutes. If you saw the Udyr Dark Harvest guide, the primary tree is going to be almost exactly the same. The only difference is, instead of cheap shot, we're going to use sudden impact, because Jax's Q will trigger it, and it has a very short cooldown. The cooldown on sudden impact is only 4 seconds. So basically, every time we use our Q, the lethality that you get from this is going to do more damage than what cheap shot would do. Then after that, Eyeball Collection gives you a little bit of damage, not very much damage, but the other 2 options give you 0 damage. And finally, for the primary, we're taking Relentless Hunter for the out-of-combat movement speed to help us get picks and burst down the squishy champions to get more stacks. For the secondary, there are 2 pretty good options, but my favorite is Demolish and Conditioning because the split pushing late game is ridiculous. Combined with Dark Harvest proc, you can burst down a tower in a few seconds. Otherwise, if you want to do a little bit more damage to champions, you can take Precision Tree secondary with Triumph and Coup de Grace. This way, whenever you get an assist or a kill in a team fight, you're getting a reset on Dark Harvest, so you get another big burst of damage, another chunk of health, and then Coup de Grace helps you finish off the low health champions, so you can get these resets. Alright guys, for the items, it's going to be pretty similar to the Udyr build. We're going to rush the Tiamat, so level 1 we're going to start with the Rejuvenation Bead instead of Refillable Potion. For the first recall, I try to get my Tiamat and basic boots complete, and then after that I pick up a Sheen, and every game I pick up a Trinity Force and Titanic Hydra. Now, here's where things start to get a little bit different. Instead of the Stalker's Blade, like on Udyr for the Chilling Smite, on Jax we're going to take the Tracker's Knife because it gives wards for ward jumps. And then the next major difference is I don't include the lethality items because I like to build this more tanky because I'm using Demolish secondary and not Celerity Water Walking like on Udyr. So I always get the 3rd item, Cinder Hulk enchantment, and then after that I just get armor and magic resist. But don't be fooled, this still does a lot of damage because now with all this health, your Titanic Hydra proc is going to do a ton of damage. So when you engage and use all your spells and do the triple auto attack combo, with your W auto attack reset followed by the Titanic Hydra auto attack reset, that's a lot of damage, and especially combined with your Dark Harvest. So with all this defense, we're still going to do enough damage to one-shot the squishies if we just get a moderate amount of stacks in the late game. Alright guys, I'm going to show you 2 different gameplays. The first gameplay I got a little bit more fed and I was able to snowball my team and basically win every lane. Then the second game I got fed but all of my laners lost, but we still came back and won. So for the first clear on Jax, I always start with the bot lane buff for the better leash, and I start level 1 with E, level 2 take W, kill the small wolves first, and then to blue buff. Then, as always, we have 3 options now, gank top, gank mid, or invade the jungle. And our ability order for Jax is to start with E, then Q on top of the enemy, and if they flash, if you want to, you can flash to follow it up, so at least we got his flash. Then I stepped back to grab another soul from this cannon minion. They count for 2 jungle monster camps. Morgana lands a Q, I jump to Morgana, land my stun, and finish off the Draven for that first blood. So that's another 6 stacks from Draven. We already took wolves, so now we start at raptors, and then our buffs expire, so now it's time to go back to base. I have enough money to get my Tiamat, but not enough for boots. So then after that, run back to Krugs, kill him very fast with his Tiamat, and then let's try for another gank. So right now, mid lane looks like the easier option than bot lane because bot lane, the enemies are not very pushed. And then when I see my Morgana about to engage, I start running in, followed up with my stun, step out of tower range, bursting down with the auto attack reset with a W, and activate the Tiamat. So even if you kill a champion a few times and you don't get very much money from killing them anymore, you still keep getting 6 stacks every time, so keep that in mind. So we just picked up another soul from Scuttle, and we're going to use this buffed auto attack to burst down this Tryndamere. We take the enemy cannon minion soul and we push our minions into tower, so the tower kills our cannon minion. That's a lot of stacks. Heal up from the fruit, grab some mana, and then we're going to try Draven once again because he's pretty pushed. So this time, since he's already pretty pushed up, we're going to be able to get in range without using Q. So we're going to start with an E. As always, just stun this guy, auto attack reset with a W and Tiamat. So that's another 6 stacks, and our mid laner's starting to get fed. That's going to be enough now to get my basic boots and Sheen. Then I just went back to the jungle to kill Raptors to take another buffed auto attack. And what are we going to do? We're going to try to burst down the Draven once again. Morgana runs in. I know she's going to throw a Q. Flash Q, very nice. I just jump in with my burst damage. 72 stacks at 10 minutes. And the enemy red buff might be up, so I left a ward in the Raptor bush to see if the enemy jungler was coming, and I just stole this red buff real quick. I was able to kill the ward using my auto attack reset, but I couldn't get the second ward. After this, the top laner comes down, so I just have to use my E to run away. Just jump to my teammate over the wall, and let's see if another ward from my mid laner. Go back to farm in the jungle. We already killed Raptors, so now we start at wolves and start moving upward. And blue is not up right now, so we're just going to take Gromp and then to Scuttle, and then I'm going to go back to base because I can pick up a Phage. What do we do next? You guys know the routine. We go out, grab a jungle camp, get that buffed auto attack, and try to gank a lane. And you got to do it fast. You only have 20 seconds before that expires. So here we go towards the enemy ADC. Ashe engages with ult, and now is possibly a great time to take Dragon. So I left another ward for bot lane. We have a lot of wards because of the Tracker's Knife and the Warding Totem. So after killing Scuttle Crab, I was planning to take Dragon, but then the enemy jungler ganks my bot lane, and I'm going to try to get revenge now. So I still have that buffed auto attack from Scuttle, so I was just trying to hide around this wall to surprise him. Auto attack reset, and Tiamat, and he's dead. Let's grab this cannon minion soul also, and then Dragon. Leave a control word in Dragon Pit so you know it's not warded. And let's check the enemy blue buff. Doesn't take too long to kill it. We don't have smite, but we can see that nobody's at the blast cone. So, oh, here comes Zzrots. He just warded. I don't know if he saw me or not, but I'm just gonna jump over this way towards the wolves. Keep farming. And not very many gank options right now, so let's go back to farming my side of the jungle now, grabbing red, then blue, get our double buffs. Then let's cover top lane because our top laner died, so we can grab a bunch of experience by taking 1 or 2 waves of minions. And here I'm just keeping an eye on Tryndamere because it looks like he's trying to engage on me. So I'm just watching him. He attacks me. I dodge it, stun him, surprise him with the burst damage, and he's dead. So then Kha'Zix shows up, and there goes all of his health pretty much immediately. Burst him down real fast using that Tryndamere soul. And we just got a bunch more stacks. So let's push down this tower now using our demolish. We don't have a lot of health yet, but it does about 500 damage already. After we get Titanic and Cinderhulk done, it's going to do a lot more damage. Here comes Tryndamere. Let's do a lot of damage. Chase him away. Then he jumped back in like he was going to be able to kill me, and I just stunned him. His ult expires. He uses his stopwatch, and all I have to do now is Q, and we get another 6 stacks. So let's just keep pushing this tower. My mid lane's pushing mid lane hard, and that Morgana is now getting really fed. Enemy jungler and mid lane both show up. I dodge the Zzrots damage to try to get to this jungler to burst him down. Almost did enough Dark Harvest damage to finish that guy off, but not quite enough. So for me, that's going to be enough money to finish our Titanic Hydra to get our triple auto attack combo. And we'll also have enough money to grab a Raptor Cloak for a little bit of armor. And now that I know Tryndamere is up here, just going to leave top lane for now, go for a pick maybe in the jungle. So I activate Oracle, run into the jungle, and there's no wards, so I know nobody sees me in the bush. And I was just going to run out here. Draven shows up at the worst time, activate E, W, Titanic Hydra, and he's dead. The next time I was pushing bot lane, same thing. I'm just going to run around the back of these guys, activate Oracle, sneak in the back, nobody sees me coming. These guys are all pushing mid lane as I was pushing bot. I have 2 teammates dead, 5 enemies alive. Catch a Draven by surprise. Same thing, burst him down in 1 combo. Now, here's a mistake because I didn't wait 2 seconds for my E to come back up, so I probably could have killed this Zzrots without using flash. But we still get that guy too. And then the other guy that was in mid lane also dies, so now they have 1 more guy up here on top, and the other guy goes back to base. So, pretty easy. Let's go back to farming just a little bit, take Romp and Blue, and then push this lane a little bit more to grab enough money to get our Frozen Heart complete. It's our last item. aside from our elixir. And after this, we're just going to go straight back to top lane because I'm very confident that my team is fed enough to handle themselves. We're just going to push top and end this game. So when we get to the tower, just drop a Zzrot. By the way, here's a good example of the triple auto attack combo here. So you start with an auto attack, then right after the first auto attack, use W, and then immediately use Titanic Hydra. So one more fight here. I saw the Nami using ult, so I just jumped in on the squishy in the back, burst him down with my Dark Harvest proc, reset, burst down the Tryndamere, burst down the Draven. And that's the end of game number 1. Let's move on to the second game now. So we're on the same side of the map as last game, and I just did the same first clear route. So this is our level 3. We just finished our blue buff. And I noticed the enemy jungler over here taking his second buff. So I just jumped over the wall to chase him away, and then after he was sufficiently scared, I just killed the red buff myself. And Mordekaiser was waiting in this bush to surprise this guy. I was sure that he would be able to kill her on his own, but I was ready to flash Q on top of Evelyn if needed. There it goes, he gets that first blood. So we're going to get this red buff. Get our level 4 from the enemy raptors and maxing W, because that's the best thing to max if you're trying to farm the jungle as fast as possible. So as I was farming raptors, my mid lane dies, so I'm going to take this opportunity to grab a bunch of farm from mid while he's dead. We get a cannon minion soul, and then when he's headed back, we just move on to raptors. And then instead of going all the way down to Krugs, I just decided to take Scuttle and move into the enemy jungle. So I use this plant to check, and wolves are over there. Gromp is gone, so instead of taking wolves, I saw the enemy Echo pushed up, and I just decided to EQ on top of him, burst him down. We're pretty low mana, but we don't need mana to kill the Scuttle Crab, and then we can get a little bit more mana from the fruit. Let's check this side of the jungle now. The Krugs are up. I'll take these now because there's nothing else to kill. And then I'll just go back to base, spend our 1800 gold, pick up our Tiamat, basic boots, and one more longsword for a little bit more burst damage. Then now that I got my Tiamat, I just decided to do a full clear of my jungle. I grabbed blue, Gromp, wolves, raptors, just killing everything. See, this is probably not a good choice because I think I probably could have got a kill if I was more aggressive. So after red, I just went to Scuttle, and this bush has a control ward in it, so I know the enemies can't see me. I'm just waiting for a chance to jump in. Ashe engages with ult onto the Jinx. I'm going to follow that up with my EQ. Harvest proc reset, which we use to burst down the Rakan. We just got 2 kills, and that's going to be an easy dragon. So then, now, let's finally kill the last thing down here, the Krugs, and then let's go back to base. So, at first I was going to start building Training Force, and then I realized I can just go for the Titanic Hydra. So, I went for that because you know how much I like those auto attack resets. We're going to have good burst damage with all of our auto attacks and Dark Harvest, but we're still going to have some health. I made a mistake. Didn't know anybody saw me, but then apparently all 4 of these guys saw me. So Chain CC could not get away from that, and they got me. Rift Herald is alive, so let's try to grab this. Meanwhile, my teammates are having a hard time, and this is my fault for not ganking more. But this is just an example of why it's bad to farm too heavily. See, even though my farm is good, I don't have nearly as many stacks as last game. It took me 5 minutes less time last game to get this many stacks. And also, since I didn't help my laners, they're all losing now because I was spending all the time farming. So Rakan's chasing us pretty deep, and then he thought he was going to get away because of the Jinx traps, but I just walked around this way, activated W and Titanic Hydra, and bursted him down. So next we're building Training Force. So I grabbed a Sheen, Stinger, and 1 longsword. And then I was going for a kill in bot lane. Don't have a buffed auto attack this time. So I start with E, flash over the trap, burst down the Jinx, get that soul to get the reset, use it to finish off the Rakan. And now that we got a double kill in bot, let's take out this Cloud Drake. So the enemy Echo was engaging onto my Heimerdinger, so I just jumped over here, stun him, auto attack resets. Also let that play down again so you can see. E, Q, E, auto, W reset, and then Titanic reset. A little bit of a fight over here, but this Yorick is pretty strong because he's pretty fed. So we were not able to win this. And then we ended up all getting destroyed. So that's not looking good. We're down 12 kills, but we still have pretty good burst damage, so we're just going to have to make some good plays, and we should be okay. There goes Jinx's heal. That was pretty easy. Another cannon minion soul, but that low health Jinx did not recall, so after killing this control ward, I just activated my E, thinking about flash Qing on top of that Jinx. Evelyn's about to charm me, but I just jump away from Evelyn to get to the Jinx. Grabbed red, and I just jumped over the back wall of dragon and started soloing this dragon. Enemy blue buff is up. Let's leave a ward just to be safe. Evelyn's here, same ability order. Start with E, Q on top of her, burst it down with a W to shut down. Echo's going to try to fight me now, so I stepped back with my E to dodge that auto attack, and then did a lot of damage to him pretty fast. Use Blast Cone to jump away. Echo uses his jump again to get over the wall. Just do his last health. He ults away to survive. So now it leaves the support alone. I am not going to be able to finish this guy off though. So we didn't kill either of them, but we at least won that 1 versus 2 and chased him away. But then when York shows up, we're not going to be able to fight this guy. Our demolish is going to do a lot more damage now that we got a lot more health. It does about 1,000 damage, no big deal. So as we're pushing top lane, the enemy York is pushing bot lane. We end up having enough time to run in here and finish him off just in time before he got that last hit on tower. Evelyn shows up over here, hits a mushroom. Evelyn's dead, and now that 2 people are dead in the enemy team, we got to go for a big play. Their biggest carry is dead, most importantly, the York. So we grab Baron. It's another 3,000 gold, so let's pick up our Zzrot portal. And last, I'm going to go for the Randuins. So let's start with the Giant's Belt to get us a little bit more max health because we have so much max health scaling. Our Titanic Hydra damage and our Zzrot damage and demolish damage. Enemies take out that Cloud Drake before we can get there, but I see that soul over the wall. So I just jump over the wall to take the soul. But it turns out that puts me into a great spot to flank these guys. So I just run over here when I see the engage happening, and then I just activate my E and walk into the middle of these 3 guys to get a triple stun. So I first use my triple auto attack to burst down that squishy Evelyn so I can get that reset. So I still have flash up, so I'm just waiting for my Q to be back up, and then I'm going to activate E, flash Q on top of him, stun him, and burst him down with my auto attack reset. But he uses ult, that's okay. We're going to finish him off anyways. Then I'm going to take this enemy red buff and move up towards that massive wave up top lane. Big team fight happens in bot lane. This is exactly what you want to see. Watch this tower's health. It's full health right now. Dark Harvest proc, Trinity Force procs, auto attack resets, and finally an 1100 damage demolish proc. 3 of my teammates die, but they kill 2 enemies. Here comes Echo to try to save this inhib, but I'm just going to do a lot of damage to him real fast, force him to ult away. Jinx shows up, so we have to run away, but check out that inhibitor's health. That Baron buff cannon minion's going to hit it the last couple times to finish it off as these guys are chasing me. So Evelyn ends up flashing to finish me off. We're going to finish our last item, the Randuins, and pick up an Elixir of Iron. So now all enemy inhibs are down. We're just going to go back to pushing top lane alone as our teammates push bot and mid lane. Guys, that's just about the end of this guide. So thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video or if you want to see more videos like this one, please leave a like so you can let me know. And if you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe. The next video is going to be some more Dark Harvest Udyr gameplay. Thanks guys, see you next time.